Hello again, Tobias here. So, in the last video we talked about, I say me, because I do the talking. That's just what I do. Talk, yakety yak, 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 whatever. Anyway, in the last video I talked about how to get honey from your frames. That honey will be stacked into 3, and that makes your honeycomb. To make the Honeywine, you need 2 stacks of 3. You need a disinfected honey pot. You need a test tube that is disinfected and filled with water. You need a gas stove to put the test tube on so that you can boil the water. And you need a honey dipper. Everything is done in the hive just like you would do with the when harvesting the comb off of the frame, with the exception of the heating of the test tube. I had trouble with this quite a bit. The instructions on the Steam Workshops, the mods page, was very concise. However, it really is all about the water, which is what I've basically come to the conclusion of. In the test tube itself, there's going to be some water that does boil off. And even though it says that the test tube is at 100%, it isn't. That being said, you have to add water. If you let it boil for too long, you will actually have to add water to the test tube after you boiled it to make it full. What I will do is I'm going to do one run, and then you'll see the prompt for the make Honeywine part. And then I'll do one where I boil it longer so that I have to add water. And I'll show you how I do that. It did take me a while to figure it out. It was a bit frustrating, but I've actually made it work both ways. Adding water and not adding water. When you boil your test tube, as soon as you hear it start boiling, you can actually take it off of the stove and put it into the slot that it needs to be in the hive. And at that point, when it starts boiling, it's at 200 Celsius. It will be fine. Not too much water has boiled off. But if you let it sit for a few more 5-10 seconds, you'll have to refill it. So, that being said, we'll start from the beginning. You approach your hive. You will open it up, go into your inventory. Now, I have everything that I need in my rucksack. You're going to be mixing honey and water. So, disinfected honey pot goes here. Stacked honeycomb, 1 and 2. That one's already boiled, that I boiled earlier. So we will take one that has not boiled yet. You can see that it says remaining is 100%. And you can do everything right from the inventory. Attach that to your gas stove. Prompt down to switch on. And you can hear it go. Now at this point, I equipped my dipper just to make things a little easier. And I'm waiting for the water to boil. And when it does, it's going to go into this spot that says full test tube. So we'll listen for it. It started to boil. So boom, we'll put that there. And as I'm looking at the honey pot with my dipper in hand, you can see process Honeywine. With the left mouse button, you will hold that just like you did getting the comb off of the frames. So let me back up and back into here. We're going to take this out and we're going to put it back on the stove, and we're going to let that boil. If you hover your cursor on there, it'll say it's about 200 Celsius, and that's what you want it to be. Now if you let it go and let it go, thinking, gotta make sure that it gets hot enough. Well, it's already hot enough when it starts to boil. Gonna take that out of my hand. Gonna put my canteen in my hand. So it does say 100%. Put that there. Actually, put that back. And it is not letting you process the Honeywine. You're going to have to top off that test tube. So, test tube on the ground, canteen in hand. Look down. You see you'll have to click down to pour. And it's just a tad bit. And then you can grab it, because it's at 100, and put it right in. Put the dipper back into your hand, and voila, process Honeywine. It is all about the water. It's all about the damn water going into the damn test tube, which caused me enough freaking anxiety. I couldn't freaking do it. I was pissing me off. However, I figured it out. So, I hope this is helpful to you. We're going to process that Honeywine. And you know what? We'll continue on to the next step so we can show you the whole thing. Again, it takes a while. It's almost as fun now as filling a jerry can at the gas station. Bohemia did slow that down to a crawl. Gee, thanks, guys, because nothing says I'm having fun like kneeling up to a... And my gas just ran out. Nothing says fun like kneeling up to a gas station at the pump and filling the damn jerry can. Anyway, I digress. Back to your inventory. At the very top, you'll see you have an empty test tube. You can take that, put back in your inventory. And you have a honey water filled pot. That goes down to the bottom where it says fill Honeywine. Boom. Take the dipper out of your hand because you don't need it. You will need a Honeywine bottle. You can't use a canteen. You can't use a jerry can. You can't use a honey jar. You have to use a Honeywine bottle. Honeywine bottle in your hand. Make sure it is disinfected. I use the alcoholic tincture just because I like the name. Alcoholic tincture. Then with that in your hand, stand, walk over to it, and you've got the fill Honeywine. Press and hold. Wait for the work circle to finish. Yeah. Look at that. I mean, look at it. It's awful nice. Now, as you can see, if you look at the bottom bottom right hand, don't know my right from my left, bottom right hand side, the medication symbol has come up, and you're getting 3 arrows on your hydration and 3 arrows on your food intake from the Honeywine. That is some seriously good shit right there. So, that's how you do it. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you're not fed up with me. What do I know? Anyway, have a good day. Bye-bye now.